Hey, everybody, welcome. Let's get started. We're super excited that you're here. And with all things going on in the world, today is a great opportunity for you and I to connect, to talk about confidence on camera. Today's workshop is brought to you by Champion Circle. My name is John Kovacs Jr. I'm the founder and creator of Champion Circle. And today we're going to talk about how to improve your presence on social media by improving the way you use the devices around you. Now, social media training is a whole nother beast in and of itself, but tonight we're going to be covering just some important tactics, strategies, and how to truly be confident behind the camera of your phone, the camera of your laptop, or even in some professional cases, a DSLR camera or something a little bit more high tech. But whatever you choose to use is up to you. We want to work on improving that and going over the importance of doing so. Now, this is going to be an interactive opportunity, so please get ready to open up the chats and add any one of your conversations and so much more. I'm going to open up my chat here, and I'm going to use the chat to sort of outline tonight's conversations and help me with the notes and so forth so we can respond to them. If you look into the chat section right now, I don't know if this is available through mobile, but on your laptop at least, you should be able to see my post right here, and it has below it an emoji reaction and also a reply. If you would do me a favor and go to the first comment in the chat section and just tap in a reaction. I'm going to give myself a pizza reaction. All right, I got a smiley face, but just give me something. Ooh, I got some of this. All right. And I also got the party. Oh, awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm just going to bring up some notes here one at a time. And I want to just give you guys an overview of this entire workshop. So this workshop is on building confidence on camera for business owners who need to use their phones and video cameras to promote themselves more effectively on social media. We'll be going over all of the details and so much more, but I really want to welcome you to this workshop. And also, if you're familiar with Champion Circle, we invite you to attend one of our in-person chapter meetings. You can go to mychampionscircle.com, where all of the information is now readily available for you to learn more about us, to enjoy our company, and also to surround yourself with champions. All right, let's move on. And I also want to explain that the importance of being on camera or video for business promotion on social media is vital, because really we are living in a world that is so reliant on the video platform. So let's get into it, guys. Why being on camera and video is important today? Well, I can think of a number of reasons, but I'd like to turn it around and ask you this. Number one is, how do you consume content? What is some of the most impressive content that you like to watch and follow? Anyone in the chat section, write down what it is, the kind of content you like to consume. What do you like to watch? Are they memes? Are they cat videos? Are they silly dub overs? What do you like to watch, and what do you like to listen to, or what do you like to consume when you're on social media or on anything? Please put that in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and say that, you know, the rise of video content on social media platforms is incredible. There's nothing that can beat it. I mean, just literally, video is the way to go. All right, we got funny relationship stuff, inspiration, and education. I love that. And I understand that most of that's probably in video form, short form video, long form video, mid form video, and probably in the case of some platforms, maybe it's a meme, maybe it's a poster, maybe it's a graphic or something that represents the information that you seek. Another one is self-improvement, education videos, cleaning videos, interesting, and comedy videos. I do love those those videos where someone will put their GoPro up and they'll mow a lawn and you watch them mow the lawn, or you watch them do a good trimming job on the lawn, or even when someone uses a power washer and cleans off a dirty sidewalk. Man, those are addictive. I love those. Oh my gosh, I forgot cleaning. I watched those too on TikTok. I love that. Awesome. Well, I mean, undeniably, this is one of the most important processes to creating content and consuming content. And whether you like it or not, even video content is relevant and prevalent on Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of those platforms, the major platforms. Oh, I forgot a couple like Tumblr and Twitch and YouTube. All of those platforms are incredibly focused on the content that gets people to keep on watching, to stay on their platform. And really, if you think about it in that term, then that's the reason why creating video content is so important. When you want people to have continuous eyes on you, you want to create more videos and more opportunities for people to stay focused. Now, we'll get into some strategies, some tactics, and some really cool ways that you can use video effectively to do so. But let's start with the base. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, because again, it's important for video content. Now, I want to explain how video content builds trust and connection with your audience. Literally, when you share a video, let's just say it's an introduction video. Once a month on TikTok, I come on and I say, hey, my name's John Kovach. If you haven't met me before, I'm a rising up-and-coming speaker, and I talk about mastermind methodologies. I lead an incredible networking association called the Champion Circle, and in those groups, we mastermind the needs of individuals so we can work on personal development to accelerate our professional success. I should have recorded that. Hey, wait, I am. That's awesome. We should use that as a tagline. Anyways, that's something that I do every single month, and I put it on my TikTok, and then it goes to my other platforms. A brief introduction video is very helpful, because not only does it help people get to know you, but it allows you to practice reaching an audience who wants to hear from you. Imagine all of us together, and I'm going to put on the epic emojis for this, but imagine all of us getting together to go to a campfire, okay? And at this campfire, we are roasting marshmallows and we're having just an absolute blast. And as a result of the marshmallows and the blast, all of a sudden, we're hanging out and just having a good old time. And as we're hanging out and having a good old time, all of a sudden we start telling stories. And those stories either get funny, they get spooky. Willie Blake busts out a guitar and starts playing. Who knew he knew how to play the guitar? And Lauren just all of a sudden has a harmonica, and we're just jamming and having a good time. And it's seriously just an absolute blast. Well, there is literally no difference between the campfire situation where we're all having a good time and you creating a video of yourself. Now, take that into perspective, because what's really happening is you're just telling friends something about you or something that happened, and there is no difference. If you can shift your mindset from being scared, boom, there's a camera in front of you and capturing every little blemish and every little thing, and you can just focus on sharing a story, acting as if we were only there to just laugh along, to sing along, to hang out. That's really what your content should be about. Because guess what? Your content's not going to resonate with everybody. It's not going to be seen by everybody. There's 7 point something billion people in this world. You're going to barely scratch the surface of who your content reaches. However, it does reach people, and that's the power in it. And so there really is something important and valuable in creating content. And I also want to know that what you do when you tell stories is we develop a bond, we develop a connection. And that happens when you get on camera, when you share something. So don't treat content creation and don't treat doing selfies and this stuff as something that the world is going to see and judge you for. Rather, focus on us all hanging out at a campfire. And to those who resonate with your content, will stick around and laugh with you. They'll cry with you. They'll get spooked with you and all of that above. But the ones who don't care, yeah, there's a few trolls out there, but in respect, they're nothing. And all they have are words. But we rarely see those. Unless you're in my world, then you see them every day, but that's not a big deal, guys. There's so much more to life than dealing with trolls. Okay, let's move on to the next piece because, oops, let me grab the other note here. The next piece to all of this is that not only does it build trust and connection with your audience, but there are so many advantages to using smartphones and video cameras for creating your content. I want to share just kind of like an example. You see, over 200 years ago, people were dreaming about the future, what it would look like. The idea that we would have people up in space, that there would be aircrafts traveling above us, that there would be things just floating around and the ability to do incredible things. Well, I've got to tell you, whether you have a Apple phone or a dumb phone, another phone, whether you have an Android, an Apple phone, I'm just throwing it out there, always just trying to make Willie laugh. Whatever it is that you have one of the greatest tools ever given. We are so privileged and so blessed to have something so uniquely created that we can do so many things. I can call and send text messages and check my emails, and I can also scroll on platforms all at the same time with one device. I can use this device to access information, to get everything I need. I can't imagine my life without it, and I feel like I'm an addict at technology, Addicts Anonymous, because man, oh man, are these things incredible. Because they're so incredible, we are so lucky to have these. And because of that, the people who lived 200 years ago could not imagine the things that we could do in a daytime, in 24 hours. So this is really the best tool for your success. And whether you have the newest one hot off the market, or you're keeping back and you're letting, just the basic camera and the basic settings, you still have an incredible device. Therefore, I challenge you to use it. Now, most phone companies want you to upgrade, and they make it incredibly impossible for you to pass it up. So if you're on certain plans, definitely look at your provider and see how high of the newest phone can you go and get that works within your budget and threshold, because there are so many great tools that I'll teach you about tonight that will give you some really great information. So again, using your smartphones, you can even go to old school video cameras. You can use your laptop. I love my laptop, my dash cam, my video cam, the webcam, all of that stuff is very, very powerful and just as good as anything, and any one of those things can work. I've also have kept my old iPhone and have used it to hook up to the Wi-Fi, and I've used it as a streaming device for multiple platforms on social media. So it really is really cool to have something. And old phones work great as cameras so that you don't break your phone while taking photos over the Niagara Falls, right? So just certain things come into handy. But really, we can all agree that your phone is a great device. Now, I would be amiss if I didn't go over some daily practices to improve your personal confidence when it comes to using these devices. Because really, while you have the power within your hands, right now, the power lies within your brain and within your heart. And if those are the ones stopping you from using this incredible technology, then let's work on that. But before we continue, does anyone have any questions about using video content or using their local devices, whether it's a phone, a computer, or anything else, in creating content? Does anyone have any questions? If you do, please put it in the chat section right now. And if not, we'll move on to the next section. But while I wait for some, I see a comment here. My brand new phone I took on our cruise, and we're almost to the top of island of Capri, Italy, and going up rock stairs, I tripped on the last two and cracked my screen. Don't worry, we can always fix the screen. But even with a cracked screen, the technology works. It just is annoying and a nuisance, right? It's not too bad. But yeah, anyone at the mall, you can go to the malls or those kiosks and they'll fix it. I had a little bit of a scratch on the screen protector, and it wasn't big enough for me to, I mean, it's a new baby. Like, it's like, oh no, I dropped my baby kind of thing. It definitely doesn't feel good, but at the end of the day, you'll still be able to do everything you need on it. Maybe not too much dating sites and stuff like that. I'm just kidding. Not that anyone in here would do that or whatever. But it's still working. That's all that matters. Okay, perfect. Well, moving on, guys. Again, daily practices to improve your personal confidence. I'd like to emphasize the importance of self-confidence in front of a camera. Okay, so even like right now, just take inventory of what you're doing and where you're at. If you aren't used to being on camera, in fact, I always remember there's like two people in my family when we go to family reunions, and there's always that one or two people who say, "Oh, please don't take a photo of me." And I understand that it's uncomfortable. I understand that it's something that you have to really understand where they're coming from in order to be comfortable with being on camera. And maybe it's because you just don't want to see yourself in the wrong light or whatever it might be, right? I'm totally empathetic to what it might be. However, if you own a business, or if you're trying to grow a business, or if you're trying to make money online, the confidence of being in front of a camera will absolutely help you. Because here I am, here's my imperfect self. I know that I have a really snazzy haircut and beautiful blue eyes that my mother gave me. But I got to tell you guys, sometimes I'm so insecure about the broken nose. Yes, I have a broken nose. And yes, I grow my unibrow out and I shave it in certain places so that it looks like my face is straighter. But if I were to cover up certain parts of my eyebrow, which all connect, then you would see a crooked nose. And I'm pretty insecure about it. But I have become confident in who I am. And I have been able to stand in front of cameras left and right. Just last week, I was on camera. I was on a radio show and they were filming the whole thing. And the angle was terrible. It was like up my nose. But I was super confident about it. So again, just take inventory of where you are relationship-wise with cameras in general. But take more selfies. Yes, I said it. Take more selfies. It is not a bad thing to become more confident in your camera taking. Now, something that you should understand is when you take more selfies or you take more photos, you can do so with angles, all right? So this may not be your best angle. Hello. This might be a better angle, shooting down on you. This is never, looking up your nose and up your chin is never a pleasant one. I've seen very, very few people who actually had, that's funny. Thanks, Willie. That's never the most pleasant view, but I can tell you that it's become so normal for a view to look up on people than usual. So just because you may not look flattering doesn't mean it's not normal. People do it all the time. Professionals do it all the time. And again, I'm just trying to help you understand that no matter what the angle is, it's never going to be perfect. Not even in the professional studio lighting. I did a speech, a TED Talk on stage, and it was filmed for TV, and you can watch it today on Amazon Prime. It's called Speak Up. And in this, I watch it over and over and over again to perfect my speeches and to prepare for future speeches. And when I gave this talk, they had cameras on my left, on my right, in and above me and even down on the ground. Each one of the angles, I could find a flaw. I could look and see something that I did wrong, or I could just see something that I didn't like about myself. But that's so toxic. I have learned to just embrace the fact that nobody sees what I see. Nobody cares about the little things that I sort of cared about. And because of that perspective, I could now say to myself, you know what? I'm perfect the way I am. I really am. And whether I'm 20 pounds overweight than what I used to be, or if I'm not going to be tan and I have to use certain lighting because I'm whiter than the Utah snow, then that's okay too. Like whatever I have to do, I just got to understand that there are certain things in certain ways that I look better on camera. But even if I just take the shot, I can improve it. There are so many things that if you just take the shot, you can adjust them later. That's a huge principle that I want to cover, because most people are waiting for the perfect angle, the perfect shot, the perfect lighting. Oh, a person walked behind me. You know what? It doesn't matter. In fact, the more movement and the more funny things that happen, it keeps people watching longer. When it's a static background like this, I recognize that I have to change the way I speak. I have to move around. I have to go, wow, boom, or I need to lean in and come in closer and talk closer to the mic and speak to you personally, because I know that this 2D, no moving background is sort of boring and it's kind of hypnotizing. And I recognize that. And that's something that you can understand too, that anything happening, and I'll just use this as an example, is that Willie Blake is currently driving while listening to this. And every now and then I see a light pole go by, or a sign go by, or something, or I even see a little hand pop up, and he's doing awesome. He's a great driver. You guys should hire him to drive for anything. He's really good at it. I'm just trying to make him smile again. But nonetheless, guys, that is more engaging than my background here. So I understand, but it's in front of a camera. And in so doing, I just want to talk about some practical tips for improving your confidence. And let's get into the importance of this. Now, when you get used to being on camera, you need to be aware of something, and it's called body language. Body language is crucial. Let's go back to the campfire. When we're all hanging out at the campfire, and Lauren wants to tell a spooky story. And Lauren, if she's sitting back in her chair, has a little straw from the grass in her mouth, and she's got her cowboy hat turned in, that's not going to create the greatest environment for a spooky story. In fact, I'm going to be bored out of my mind, or I'm going to say, hey, is this a cowboy story or a spooky story? You tell me, right? But when you use the body language of whatever you're trying to portray, that comes across. People read more than just lips and faces. They read your body. And posture has a lot to do with it. But if Lauren was telling a really spooky story over the campfire, she might be leaning in. She might have the blanket up to her chin and hiding under it, right? And she might be looking around as she's telling it to kind of bring us in. And all of a sudden, Rachel's now underneath her covers, shivering at the thought there might be a ghost or something nearby, right? And every little sound draws us in. That's really, really important. Yes, so be more animated in videos. That's absolutely correct. Use your hands. Look at me, I talk with my hands. Now, it takes practice, but if you practice enough, you will be able to do it fluidly. There's something that no one knows about me, that I'm very critical in myself. I have broken so many bones in my body, and one of those bones is this bone right here, the pinky bone. And because I have broken this bone so many times, it protrudes from my hand so far, and when I'm speaking on stage, most cameras will catch me doing this. What am I, a Ninja Turtle? Like, why is that pinky way out there? And rather than bringing myself down about it, I used to say, you know what? When people drink wine and they're trying to be fancy, you know what they do? They put the pinky up. So I'm being fancy when I talk rather than bringing myself down. Does that make sense? Okay. So body language, important. Posture. All right. Don't be shrugging. Okay. Practice your good posture. In fact, this isn't just a conversation with you and John. This is a conversation from your doctor. If you want long-term beneficial health, work on your posture. Every morning I get up out of bed and I walk into the bathroom and I do some power poses. I get really big and I breathe in and I look into the mirror and I say, yes, I am awesome. I am powerful. I am gifted. People love me and I love the world. And I'm here to create goodness among men and women. Okay. Whatever I might say in my affirmations, I make myself big. I get posturized and I focus on being as big as I can be. And that is helpful because when I'm sitting there at work for hours on end in front of a computer, sitting down, it decreases my posture. So I got to finally do some shoulder shrugs. Okay. There's a few other ones too. Another one says, that's what I feel. Oh, that's when I feel so awkward, like so uncoordinated. And just like learning how to walk like a baby, or just like learning how to run like a child. Okay. We need to get more coordinated in how we focus on camera. So there's just a few ideas. Let's talk about another one. Now I get it. You guys get it. The body posture, all that. But another one is eye contact with the camera. What drives me nuts, and I scroll immediately, is when people are talking, but they're talking off camera. Okay. It's so unengaging. I love and appreciate content where people are literally like looking at the camera, look away for a second, but then they're back. Okay. And if you think about that hilarious commercial by Old Spice, when he's like, look at your man, now look at me, now back to your man, now back to me, right? You can look off camera, but then you can look back. And in fact, it's okay. Some people will pretend this is a script, okay? They will post a script right here on the back side of their computer screen, and they will read the script. And so right now I'm reading a script right now, and it says, John, you are going to read this script as a pro to what you're doing on the camera today in the workshop. Okay, cool. So it sort of looked like I was looking at the camera, but I was literally looking off screen. That's a really great way to boost your confidence. If you can't directly look into the camera like I am right now and pierce into your souls and say, I see you there. Okay. It's not as impersonal as that, but I really, really know the importance of eye contact, and even just a little glance to the left or a little glance to the right. It really helps with what you're doing to make content. So you want to practice this, and we're going to practice this here in just a few minutes. I'm almost done with my information. Okay. But again, eye contact is one of those important ones. Something that I'm really good at, but because of practice, is voice modulation and speaking clearly. Rachel says, so the script is right next to the circle. Great question. Let's go back. If the camera is right here, okay, and I just put it too far over, you see that my script is covering the camera. But if I put it off to the right here, I'm still looking close to the camera and I'm moving my eyes just a little bit. You can sort of tell that I'm not directly looking at the camera. If you put it right here above the camera and behind it, just so that you can read everything, then you can tell that I'm reading my name, but it looks like I'm looking at you, right? So just get creative. People will do this. This is actually a name tag and they'll tent it. And if you take your notes and write it on the front end of your thing, and then you hang it on your computer screen, then there you go. You have a script on top of your computer screen, and you can just read the script and glance over at the camera, read the script and glance back at the camera. There are also plenty of apps that you can download to record videos where you can use teleprompters on your screen. You'll write your script out and the teleprompter will scroll up, and all you got to do is just look at your camera and it will look like this. It's very, very impressive. I'll share that resource with you a little bit later, but there are resources to help you. My invitation and challenge to you is practice using eye contact when you speak on camera. You don't have to be solely focused on it. In fact, I feel like I drank one of those late night quiz thingies and I've got this like intense focus on you. No one likes that. So just be natural and practice it. Again, let's go back to the campfire. If we're talking at the campfire, Lauren's telling this spooky story. What's really going to help her tell this story with really awesome detail is if she makes eye contact with people around the circle, okay? over the fire across the side there. When she's making contact and telling them about the boogeyman or whatever it might be, right? That's definitely going to add to the story. So when you're talking about yourself, your product, your service, what you did last night, what you're eating, get ready with me type products, cleaning stuff, right? Or maybe your dog or cat's doing something so funny, right? Whatever you do, make sure you make it an opportunity to look back at the camera. And doing so will improve the content and make people want to watch your content more. Okay, let's talk about another piece. We were talking about voice modulation and speaking clearly. This is something that's really important, but not everyone's good at this. In fact, I was just taking inventory of the content that I watch, and there are a few people that I love their videos, and they're absolutely monotone, and they don't change the tone of their voice, and they just talk like this at the same volume and the same tone the entire time. And I didn't think about it. And I thought, man, I like these videos, but they're never in fluctuating their, I don't know what the word is. They're never raising the tone or bringing it down. You know me, I get loud and I get soft. I will change up the tone. I will change up the tempo, and I will do so many different things to grab your attention and keep you focused. And you don't have to be a professional at that. It does take practice. And my only invitation is that you practice speaking clearly. Very interesting. I'm trying to hunt down the details because it's a cool case study for me, but there was a woman on TikTok who had a speech impediment, but she was probably the only person in the office willing to do a marketing video for their company. So she gladly put herself on camera, and she clearly had an impediment. And it was so interesting. I had to watch it over and over and over again to figure out what she was really talking about. A few months later, this woman cleaned up. She was dressed differently. She had a different look to her, and she still had her speech impediment, but she slowed down and she focused on emphasizing her words. And the advertisement was 10 times better than the original. Now, I'm not saying this to dig on impediments. I'm just telling you that I saw a difference. And it really made a huge difference with me. I didn't buy the product, but I took notice. And I noticed there were some really, really cool differences. And I was impressed. And in a small little finger clap way, I went, "No, congratulations," and said that was really cool. So there are some really cool things that just you can focus on and work on. But your speech is very important. So just get used to practicing. All right. You want to practice out loud. Reading the comments here. So smart. I have always been told to slow down when I talk, and I think it's an ADHD thing for me. Yeah, it definitely could be. But remember, we're just hanging out at the campfire. Okay, really focus on how to make this story really good. So if you're talking about a resource, let's say we're selling opportunities to come to our Become a Champion event, and I want to tell people about the things they're going to learn. And I'm going to take the opportunity to say, when I attend Champion Circle, I get to meet really cool people. And when I do that, I know that they have my back. I've just built a relationship, a friendship, a bond with these people that I can continue to trust in day after day. And they've done so much for me in my life. And I try to articulate that very calmly and very well. But again, you got to practice it. Get in, and get it done, get her done, get out. But I need to learn to sit and hang out with my peeps. Yeah, bask in it, right? Okay. Moving on from that topic, let's say, obviously, I think it goes without saying that you need to practice and rehearse before recording. Okay. So let's use the example of the script. I wrote a script. I'm going to put it on my camera right here, just to the left of it. And the script says, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the stage, John Kowach Jr. He is a motivational speaker and global mastermind leader. He has taken the time." Okay, I messed up there. I need to add a little thing. Let me backtrack. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I'm about to introduce John Kowach Jr." And I continue to practice until it makes sense, until I feel confident. But confidence doesn't mean perfection. Let me repeat that. Confidence does not mean perfection. And I'll share some examples with you in just a little bit. because I know a few people who are just sweeping up the change in my wallet because they are so effective on social media, even with the mistakes, the blemishes, and the little things that might freak someone out before pressing publish or post, and yet they still do an amazing job. And having examples to tailor your work after is very effective and very helpful. So practice and rehearse before recording, as always. Now, I think we talked a little bit about this, but utilize visualization and positive affirmations. If you want to see what you hope to be like, feel like, or look like, just affirm it. Really visualize it. Okay, when I get on camera, it's very likely that I have envisioned what I plan to do before I get on camera. I usually go into my meditative state, or I usually talk to myself, or I pump myself up in the back, but I'm always thinking about the occurrences and what it'll feel like and be like to be on stage. Anytime I pull up my phone, I am always thinking ahead of time, what am I trying to do here? I'm not trying to make millions of people follow me, because the reality is that we do not create content that people want. We are creating content that we want people to want. Let me repeat that again. We're not creating content that people actually want. We're actually creating content that we want people to want. And there's something wrong with that. We've got to do stuff that people want. If you want to grow your business, if you want to sell things, if you want to improve your services, if you want to connect with more people, whatever you're trying to do, remember that people like certain types of content. You'll see those mega contents online, and you can pattern things that people have already done. The pure key to content creation isn't creating new content. It's repurposing old content over and over and over again until you get it right. And more people subscribe to what you're doing. I love doing my 3 method. I keep practicing and tweaking things until I get it right. Then I practice 2 more times. This way I have 3 finished tries for my speech, and I can move from a robot voice to my own. Love that. Thank you for sharing that. All right. I think we beat this principle to a crisp, but to kind of wrap this topic up, I want to encourage you to incorporate these practices in your daily routines, okay? Daily routines. If you're a part of Champion Circle, okay, you know that we do morning affirmations, that we get up and we look at the mirror, we look at our desire statements, our 90-day sprint goal statements, and we speak it out loud, and we do it several times a day. And that's how we accelerate the performance in our lives. So get into the habit of doing these things. Get into the habit of lifting that phone up, or talking to that camera, or getting your real camera out, right? Whatever it might be, but get into the habit of practicing it. And by the way, I love it when people share that they are working on something, and then this is an attempt to do it. For example, you'll see this on our Facebook page or our Facebook group just a little bit later. But let me do an attempt right now. Okay. Hey guys, it's John Kovach. I'm actually here live right now on our virtual training. And I just wanted to say that I'm actually practicing because I want to be effective in how I communicate when I'm on camera. And this is a very, very powerful way to put myself in position to do what I need to do so I can get my content done. Anyways, if you think that this is good or have any suggestions or recommendations for me, would you please just comment below so I know what to fix when I do this video a little bit later. All right, I appreciate your help. Thanks. So I'll post that in our group, and you guys can tell me if you like it or if you think I should work on some things. Those are tactics and practices that you should implement every single day. Get comfortable lifting the selfie up, baby. And I will share that there are certain things that have helped me too. One to mention, here's a couple. Anker. Anker is a brand. They have incredible products. There's usually affordable, but this is one of my selfie sticks. I take this everywhere, and selfie sticks are awesome because you can get a great view, a great angle, and so much more. So maybe you want to invest in a selfie stick. They're like $10 at Walmart. I've seen them before. This one was a little bit more high caliber, but I can adjust the side to front, to back. I can also use it as a tripod. I can lift it up. Okay, I can change the angle. There's so many things. And you guys have probably seen on social media those really fancy gimbals and certain things. Look, just get comfortable with being on camera and understanding what's your right angle. Okay, what is the closeness that you need to be before it to sound bad, and how that works with your device, because every device is different, even if they're the same model. Okay, everyone works their devices differently. Best advice I've received with doing videos: hit record and talk. Works every time. I love that. That's fantastic. So again, there's that. Well, let's move on, guys, because I know in the process, and some of you are probably rolling your eyes saying, look, there's some challenges and I get nervous. Well, let me tell you, as a professional public speaker, I always get nervous. Nervousness is okay. Nervousness is a sign that you're alive, that you're a human being, that you have a brain and that you have a heart, and that those two are working in congruence to pump blood through your body. That's what nervousness is. So if you can be okay with being nervous, just know that that's part of your process. I have gotten on stage so many times that the nervousness has gone down significantly, but I still get nervous, you guys. Before I shoot a video, okay, I'm actually really nervous about background noise. Today I was talking to someone and there were so many cars whizzing by our house, and I was like, man, I can just hear them in the camera and in my ears. It was hurting, and I didn't want to shoot a video. But finally I was just like, you know what, I'm going to do what Willie just said, right? I'm just going to press record and see what happens. And while I apologized in the video for the background noise, but there really was no distraction. I just said, continue with what I'm saying, because I'm going to continue this conversation. And at the end of the day, I don't think I could have done it any more perfect, because it needed to get done. So just know that there are always going to be challenges with nervousness and certain feelings while you're filming or using your phone for camera works and so forth. But I do want to acknowledge some common challenges and nervousness associated with being on camera. Really, it is a known fact that one of the greatest fears of mankind is public speaking. And whether that's in front of a group, I know and I understand, but just get comfortable doing what you do best. I've actually been a huge fan of people not even saying things on camera, but just staring at the camera, or maybe doing a slight movement and smiling or doing stuff, and then have words or text messages all over the screen. And so people really aren't paying attention to you. They're trying to read the words, or maybe there's music associated with it, or maybe you're doing a special dance, or you're mouthing the words of something. You're being the dub, right? But whatever it might be, I've been a fan of just getting into my groove. And if you go into my TikTok, 9 out of 10 videos, you're going to see me doing this right here. And you're going to see this angle right here. It's because I've gotten confident from that angle. And whether I'm sitting at my computer, on a walk, on a hike, that's the confidence that I have, because that's my comfortable position. I recognize that it's different for everyone else, though, so we can tackle those a little bit later. I'm going to provide you some strategies for overcoming these challenges, though. Number one is what we do in every meeting before we start our masterminds: breathing exercises and relaxation techniques. Nothing helps me calm down more than a big, deep breath through my nose, holding that, and then releasing it through my mouth, okay? And when I get really good at that, I can do it all through my nose and it's still effective. But breathing techniques are the best way. Before you're about to say something really, really mean or harsh, or have a really hard conversations, have you always noticed that before the hard stuff comes out, most people give themselves a sigh or a deep breath? Have you noticed that? You know, when your spouse like goes, you know something's about to happen, right? That's because our bodies are trained to increase the flow of oxygen before we do something that's difficult? Why not do the exact same thing with a more positive outcome than telling someone the bad news, right? Why don't we focus on doing the right thing and breathing in and doing the same thing? Before I jump off the high dive or off the edge of the pool, you better bet my bottom, I'm going to sniff in and get a really great breath of air to hold my breath to sustain my beautiful dive into the pool, right? The same thing. We're taking care of our bodies. It is natural for us to take in oxygen. So before you give yourself a photo, give yourself a deep breath in. Don't breathe so hard that you pass out. I've done that before too, but get used to letting oxygen in because you already do it. Why not do it? Why not follow Mother Nature's positive, powerful reaction in a very cool and optimistic way? All right, so breathing exercises, and just to kind of turn this away from me, what relaxation techniques do you use to calm yourself down before something kind of stressful? Put that in the chat section. If you'll reply to the breathing exercises and relaxation techniques comment in the chat section, what relaxation techniques do you use? All right, we've got stretches. I love that. Stretches. You wouldn't just walk out onto a soccer field and play a game without stretching. Shame. That would totally hurt. And you'll feel it in the morning. And you know that. It's a no-no, right? Stretches are a great way. And guess what? You can't do without stretching. You can't not breathe while stretching. So you're doing the same thing. What else? Any other relaxation techniques? Ground my bare feet on grass and breathe. Ooh, I love that. Grounding yourself, feet flat on the ground, preparing yourself. Here's the jumping into the pool example, right? You're not going to hop on one leg and do the can before you jump in. I'm going to plant my feet firmly so that I know that I don't miss the water or miss the pool, right? Most people will do that. So I love that. And another one is 30 quick hyperventilating breaths. Ooh, that's the Tony Robbins thing. So those are really, really powerful ways to insert oxygen into your body. I love that. Fantastic. Thanks for sharing, everybody, and thanks for your participation. Another great way to practice and to keep yourself to overcome the nervousness is scripting out and outlining key points. Now, I do this before I speak on stage. I know the stories, I know the concepts, but if I'm ever going to teach something out of order or in a way that I'm not used to, here's that note card again. I'm going to write down 2 or 3 important notes that I need to remember to hit. And I might put them up by my camera, or I'll put them. I've seen people give speeches and put stuff on their hand, and they're like, glory, glory, hallelujah. And the next line is dream, a big dream, right? They will use things in their life, in their hands. Some people are actually really good. They'll like hide a little cheat sheet in their watch, and then they'll use their hand and really pump up the crowd. And as they're looking from left to right, they're reading their script, right? Whatever you need to do to help. I've even seen people put scripts in front of their screen so they don't even have to see themselves, and they just look at the camera and read. Whatever you need to do, but outlining key points is very important. Even like tonight, you see that I'm putting outlines in the chat section. I'm literally going off of the outline I created for tonight to give you some important information. Okay, I'm looking at the time, guys. I know we're running out of time. Let's breeze through this. Starting with shorter videos and gradually increasing the length. If you're going to do video content, I highly recommend this. My most famous video is one where I say, don't tell anyone this, but you're my favorite. And that's it. It's a silly but positive moment. And it was me practicing. Literally, I wasn't trying to create that content. I was just practicing 7-second content. And that was the result of 350,000 views on TikTok and over 1.5 million views later. So again, just start with the simple stuff and work your way up. I've actually been hearing the debate on content right now, and everyone has been pushing short form content, less than 15 seconds. But I think a lot of the platforms are trying to keep you on their platform longer. Therefore, long form content is more superior. So something to keep in mind, but just work your way up. It really isn't too difficult to practice with the little stuff before. And then one of my favorite ones, because literally advice is worth $1 million. And I want to say that again, advice is worth $1 million. Seeking constructive feedback from trusted sources. If you trust them enough and you're willing to take on the feedback, do it as often as you can. I will admit that I have made more mistakes than any of you in this room, entrepreneurially. And then because I have taken advice, counsel, and mentorship from people who would take me under their wing and say, yeah, if you did it this way, this would be better. Okay, if you said this. I have been on an accelerated platform for success and growth since I was 12 years old, because I'm not afraid of feedback, because I'm willing to go to trusted people who I value their opinion, and I'm willing to take it like at face value. And I never get emotionally tied up in it. I just take it and understand where they're coming from. And I know that it's going to help me in the long run. And even if I disagree with it, most feedback is important because it's going to give you an idea, maybe a perspective, or even maybe a viewpoint that maybe you didn't think of prior. So feedback is important. And I highly get used to that. If you weren't going to seek counsel from other people, then you may want to consider observation, which is a powerful tool. Watch what other people are doing and mimic what they're doing online, and that would be your feedback, because the numbers don't lie, baby. The numbers don't lie. And what happens is if you post something on any social media platform, the numbers will tell you what is not working and what is working. One post every now and then that does work and doesn't work, most people will throw their hands up and say, well, the algorithm gods are not in my favor. That's not true. All content is good content to the degree that you measure it at. And depending on what you're seeking to achieve, that's what you need to measure your success at. If you're okay with 100 views, that's great. If you would rather have 1 million views, well, start watching videos that get 1 million views and start mimicking what they're doing until you get it right. And that's how you win. So if you're not willing to take constructive feedback right away, maybe using the observational skill and do what my friend Willie would do, and you would observe through listening, observe through watching, and observe through learning. Those are powerful principles that will get you where you want to go. Last but not least, guys, is share personal anecdotes or success stories to inspire confidence. Oh, that's a note for me. But really, you can all share your own anecdotes and success stories. I'm going to get on after tonight and I'm going to say, hey guys, I posted this video and I got 10 great comments about how I could do better while I'm on camera. And I really appreciate that. Or I could say, look, you guys didn't answer at all, so I must be perfect the way I am. And that might elicit some conversation as well. So whatever we go through, that's it. Okay, guys, we're getting through this, but I just want to pause to just say, we're going over a lot of information, and I want to practice with you here shortly. The last few things I want to go over are the best resources for improving selfie content creation, okay? Selfie content creation is photos and videos or audios in selfie mode. Selfie mode is when the camera is in front of your face and you're the one holding it. That's selfie mode, okay? Whether you're using a selfie stick to do it or you're using your arm and your hand to hold it, right? I've even seen people use their feet to hold their camera. Whatever you do, it's up to you. But there's some powerful ways to do this. So I'm going to introduce to you some resources and tools of improve. And we kind of already went over this. Use a selfie stick, use props, use things that will prop up your phone, get the right angles, just get used to it. If you're using a computer, this is a feng shui conversation, but if your computer is facing a wall, you're probably going to want to invest in really good lighting equipment, because that wall, it does not produce light. The light is bouncing off of it and it's giving you a fragment that's not that great. So you may want to buy a ring light or an emphasis light or something. There's plenty of them I can recommend to you, but you might want to increase the natural and and white lighting on your face if your computer or phone or anything is facing a wall. And it's just because the walls don't produce great light. Now, if your computer or phone or anything is in front of a window, beware of shadows, because if your phone is in front of this, notice that the shadow is now over me. Okay, I'm covering one of my light sources. Same thing if I hold it over here. Actually, that one's not bad because that's a ring light. You can probably see the ring light here in the reflection of my poster here. But knowing where the light is, if I'm going to use this as my main light, I need to hold the camera right here so that I have good lighting on my face, good angle on my phone, and I can get what I need to get. So just knowing your surroundings is important. Camera and video settings on your smartphone. The other phones with very, very cool cameras, like 3 or more cameras, they have the same ability to record in either 4K or cinematic mode or the highest resolution. I encourage you, although it's going to take up significantly more memory, I encourage you to take your videos in the highest quality as possible, because when you transfer it from your phone to whatever platform, it's going to look a lot better. Most platforms aren't equipped for more than 1080 XP or whatever it is, megapixels or whatever it is. 1080 per millisecond is what it means. Anyways, I won't get into details, but if you can do it in 1080 or greater, you're always going to have a good shot at it being very clear, not fuzzy, and really, really impressive. Now, if your phone isn't that high powered, I recommend you get just the normal webcam, an external camera, or you focus on the type of lighting and scenario that will really highlight yourself and your face. I've seen great content that's pretty crummy in texture, but it doesn't matter because they do a good job. And good content will always prevail, even if the quality isn't that great. So just recognize that if it's not perfect, it's okay. But if you have the tool to make it good, always go with better, right? Always go with the best that you can get from the device that you're working off of. And you can find that in your camera settings. You can go on Zoom and you can change it from 650 megapixels per second to 1080. Now, it does require a lot more computing power, but hey, it's just helping you grow your content and your following, and also to be clear for those watching. Okay, we are getting close here. I mentioned this already, but lighting techniques for better quality videos. Have a light in front of you or natural light. Don't block the light. Watch for shadows. Boom, done. Okay. And we're going to practice this here in just a second. All right. And then audio considerations. You're going to be persuaded to go buy a really nice microphone. Now, I have invested in thousands of dollars worth of equipment for my studio. I have an arm here that has a really nice microphone that sits right off to the side of my camera, and it captures everything. I have lighting equipment. I have a prop up. I'm standing right now on a stand desk. Okay. All of these things I've invested in. But to be honest, I could do this anywhere, and I don't really need much. The thing is when it comes to microphones and sound equipment, is that even if I turn off all of my settings, my computer's going to do a decent job at capturing the sound. My phone, if I'm facing the camera towards me, this is the audio, whatever it's called, the microphone. There we go. The microphone sits here and it sits here on the iPhone. I'm sure it's the same for other phones, but I'm going to make sure that my voice is hitting that and I'm good. You can also use headphones in my pocket right now. I've been carrying around these babies. Yeah, who's seen these? 1965, right? The wired headphones. Are you kidding me? These are actually incredible. You can bunch up microphone, hold it up to your mouth, and it has incredible crisp sound, okay? And you can do that as well. If you guys like to use the wireless ones, I'll promise you, I have yet to find a wireless mic that comes in clearer than the cord. Yes, I'll say it again. I have yet to find a wireless microphone that comes in clearer than the cords, baby, because there's a little bit of muffling. There's some technology in Bluetooth that has to connect. And although I've done a lot of stages, the clearest and crisp sound always comes from something with a wire. So there you go. There I'm sharing industry secrets. And then last but not least, again, we talked about this, but one of the reasons why I like tripods and stabilizers, tripod on my desk, I could put my phone on the tripod, okay? I'm gonna stand like this. And let me see if I can do it right now. Okay. Voila, it's right there. I can raise this up. I can tilt it perfectly. Boom. And I can take a video right now. Hey guys, again, I am on camera right now. I'm actually facing the camera at the camera while I'm doing this, but I just wanted to say that this is an effective way to use a tripod stand when I'm taking video content. Let me know what you think, if this is distracting or if you actually think this is a good idea. Okay, so I can use that as a way to confidently and comfortably use the right angles in my recording. All right, we're getting to the end here. Let me share the last few slides or pieces of information. I want to recommend some relevant apps or softwares for editing and enhancing video content. Something that Lauren and I are very familiar with is an app called CapCut. If you just pay the $60 for the year or whatever it is, it's a great resource, and it has themes and templates and things that you can use. But I will tell you that even like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook all have their own templates themselves. So if you don't want to spend money on an app, you can just do everything in-house. You can edit things, you can trim videos, you can do all of it within the platforms. They're pretty robust. Also, YouTube has enhanced their editing softwares, and you can do a lot of editing inside the platform. So just whatever you plan to do or use, know that you can edit it inside. And you can also change up the focus, the lighting, and so forth from your camera first before you. All right, that one's go for days on that one. And last, I want to provide some examples of demonstrations of effective selfie content creation. You guys have already seen it. I've done it a couple times here. Let's just say I'm going to keep this on track here. And if I'm walking around, I want to put it out in front of my face, okay? I want to use the camera, as you guys can see there. I want to make sure that my face is in view. You should be able to see that. I want to make sure that the lighting's good. I've got a little bit of a blur going up here. You can see my ring light over there. There's just a few things that are really hard to play around with in this corner. So I got to make sure that I have everything set up the way I want it to. But if you guys have any questions, and I can demonstrate anything else, and I'm willing to stick around after class here and help you with any one of your examples. Let's say you want to say, hey, if you were to promote a product, how would you do it? I'll do it for you, and you can take a look. You can borrow this video and use some scripts. All right, so in conclusion, you guys, let me just summarize a few things here. So really, to bring this to a close, we've talked about, why being on camera and video is important today. You get it. It's because that's all we consume. It's the new content. It's the way of the future. We also covered the daily practices to improving your personal confidence, starting with body language, eye contact, voice modulation, and speaking clearly. Practice and rehearse for before your recordings, and then utilizing visualization and positive affirmations. We also covered the importance of overcoming challenges and nervousness, which by doing breathing exercises, scripting out your main points, starting with shorter videos, and seeking constructive feedback if you're willing. And then also to share any of your inspirations as a way to get yourself into the mode and mood of creating content. And then last, we talked about resources for improving selfie content creation, from tripods to anything else that you get comfortable with. Mainly, it's like a set of golf clubs, okay? Only you are going to be able to golf well with the golf clubs you've been practicing on. So just get used to whatever it is that you want to practice on. I encourage you guys to practice regularly and apply these techniques techniques as learned today. And I'm excited to share with you just some really cool examples in here in a minute. But I also want to open the floor for questions and address any concerns or queries regarding these thoughts. And as I open it up for questions, please type your question in the chat section. But I want to just leave you guys with this: to adapt your thoughts and your videos to whatever it is that people want, the content that people want, not what you want them to want, but what people want. And that's the hardest thing for most people. So I'm going to take a few questions right now, and thank you for jumping in and asking a question, Willie. What camera to use for Zoom and or laptop videos? Is it your laptop camera or something else? Great question. I have a couple thoughts there. Number one is, right now, I'm just using the regular camera on my laptop. I have a fairly new camera, a new laptop, so it does shoot in 4K or lesser, and this one does just fine. It isn't the best, and I have learned that if you have an iPhone, I'm sure other phones do this too, but I can use the iPhone while on Zoom to connect as my camera, and my cameras here will be the cameras for my Zoom. I can show you guys that in just a minute as well, if that's helpful to you. And also, I know that professional content creators, like the people who spend thousands of dollars on equipment, will use their fancy DSLR camera. They'll prop it up on a tripod, they'll aim it right above their laptop, and they'll use that. But literally, who needs that, right? We're all going to be doing this, and this can still generate millions and millions of dollars. You don't need a fancy camera to generate millions of dollars. That's what I want you guys to understand. You don't even need the newest iPhone or the newest Samsung Galaxy or whatever, or the new Pixel phone. You don't even need any of those to generate millions of dollars. You just need something that works, and that works well for you. But I mentioned it, so I'll bring it up here. Let me see if I can change my video. Here we go. So I'm going to change this. There's a new setting in, let me make sure I'm open. Yep, we're open. Okay. So there's a new setting in Zoom where I can connect my camera to my iPhone. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to change it around. All right. You guys see my camera? I am now looking at my phone. Whoa, look at this. This is my phone. And I'm going to take you guys with me behind the scenes, and you're going to see that that's my phone that I'm using. So it's actually really clear, but that's because this camera shoots in 4K or better. And I'm actually not a fan of this. It's a little, I don't know where to look. I think it's this, it's the bottom camera. Interesting. So I'd have to look at the bottom camera, which is a little off center for me. But if I propped it up on my laptop like this, okay, and I talk to you guys like this, not bad, but I can still see something on my eyes that I'm looking at. So I can't tell which one I'm looking at, honestly. So it's a little distracting, but it is really good quality. So depending on the functions of your Zoom account or your computer, you might be able to use a different device like your laptop, your phone. You can even hook up a GoPro if you have newer GoPros. Those are always good too. Now let me switch back before I puke, because this is I'm just kidding. That was a little dramatic, John. But great question. So any camera that works best for you is the best. Now I have an old laptop. Where is it? I put my old laptop somewhere, but my old laptop had kind of a grainy camera, and I needed to upgrade laptops to make it easier for myself. So that's what I recommend. All right, next question. What are tricks for you? What are tricks you use for going live? Hey, I actually want to answer this with Willie's comment. Just do it. Okay. No plan. You'll figure it out when you're in there. Impromptu, but just go live. Okay. And get used to going live. But if you're really, really nervous about it, I would spend maybe 15, 20 minutes scrolling through the live content that is on the social media platform you want to go live on, and just figure out what you think you can do. Look at what other people are doing. You'll see people who have a green screen and every now and then they'll pop in. You'll see people who aren't even on camera during live. You'll see people who are watching television and doing other things too. But whatever it is, do what you feel is more comfortable for you. I like to just hit it. And I just like to say, hey guys, I guess I'm going live. This is really fun. But let's talk about something. And then I love engaging with people because they offer a little bit of context and people love it. Live content is for engagement. Live content is not to create content. Okay. Live content, let me repeat that. Live content is for engagement. It is not to create content. So don't act like or don't feel like live content needs to be perfect. Live content is for engagement. Just like this, in a webinar format, I am speaking to the audience who has questions. Great, great question. And then another recommendation I have is, literally do everything you feel necessary to have the right lighting, to have the right angle, to have the right stuff, have headphones in, or have a way that it's clearly understood. But just do everything you can and then just go for it. Because if it's a pretty crappy live, but people are having fun with you, doesn't matter. I think you won anyways. But if it's a pretty great looking live and no one interacts with you, you're doing something wrong. Okay. So the pendulum swings both ways. What other questions do you guys have? One question I know that comes through a lot is, do I need to speak in order to produce good content? And the answer is no. Let me share with you. In fact, I should be able to do it right here. Let me just open up some settings and go over to this platform here. I hope you guys don't mind if I just show you a little TikTok content that I think is very helpful. Okay, this is great. So awesome. I apparently have to log in. So if you have any other questions, please share it with me. Otherwise, I'll go into a few more details. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I just need to log in. That's all I need to do. Use QR code. Let's do that. Boom. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, that should log me in. All right. What other questions do you guys have? Perfect. Any accounts on social media you'd recommend to learn from more experts on speaking with confidence alongside your awesomeness, of course. Thank you for that. Yeah, I have plenty. In fact, I follow them too, because I'm one of those people who love to follow creators who help other creators. And remember, you are a creator. So let me suggest a couple for you. And let me give you some really cool examples. And if you guys don't mind, I'm literally just going to share my screen. And I apologize if anything comes on that doesn't look like what you would normally watch, like dancing and whatever. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go to, let's see, her name was Ashley. Okay, here we are. Ashley Cow. I don't know if that's her actual content. This might be a duplicate. Yeah, it's not her real content, a duplicate account, because I think she got hacked or something like that. But this is essentially what her account looks like. Okay, very, very similar. I mean, just looking at this, right? She's in front of a computer. She's at an angle. You can see her kitchen. You can see her wall. You can see the plant behind her. But she just does simple little things like motivation, me trying to convince you to start affiliate marketing so you can make limitless income from home. Okay, that's kind of a cool one. She's not saying anything. She's not really doing anything. She just has music playing and she's, doing something, and then we're reading the words and it plays over and over again. That's got 275 views. Now, I wish I could find her real account right off the bat, but look at all of her views. She does like 3 or 4 of the same videos at a time, and then she's done for the week. That's kind of how she batches her content. So this is a really good example of someone who never talks, but just plays music and puts words on the screen and does really well. Now, this account, again, doesn't show it, but she has an account where she has over 75,000 followers, and each video makes, 15,000 views minimum and stuff like that. But I'm not sure why this doesn't work. Maybe we can take a look at it from this angle. Here you go. Affiliate marketer. This should be it, but if not, I'll move on to another one because there's just really, really great examples. Let's see. Let's go to accounts and show. Okay, that's not it. That's not it. All right, I'm gonna move on because I don't see it. There's another guy I really like for advice on how to do good videos, to different tools on the internet. And this guy's name is Socialty Pro. Here he is. Okay, and this guy is awesome. I love this guy. He does SEO and TikTok marketing agency. He does a lot of videos where he's really a goofball. But here's a really cool one I saw the other day.
5 AI websites feel illegal to know.
If they're illegal to know, then why are you telling me? Rewind.ai records everything that you do and say moving forward so you can recall any conversation you've ever had.
Am I going to get in trouble for that?
HeyGen.com lets you
So you get the point, but he does really cool videos and the quality is not that great. I mean, I'm looking at the second one here and you can see the reflection of the video camera or the lights in his glasses. Okay. He's got no echo cancellation in his videos, but yet, I mean, look at his numbers. He's got 752K followers. He has over 6 million likes. He's doing a great job. I really like this guy. I respect him, everything he says. As far as like content creator, let's just look that up. And I would do this on Instagram too. Okay. I'm just using TikTok because this is where I live, but there's some great ones here. Let's see if I can see anyone I recognize. I don't recognize any of those people, but you know what I can do, just because of timing, is I can definitely send a follow-up to this and share a few with you guys via email. Let's see, there was one girl that I know. Here we go. I think it was Jess Ekstrom. Let's try her. So speaker, author, helping women do the same, free speaker training. Okay, so she's cool. She's a speaker like me. Her and I have comparable content. So we do very, very similar things here on the platform. But as you notice, like she's picked that angle. That's the angle she loves. Slightly off to the side, straight to her face, right on, and she does some things. She does some talking. That's her style of content that really does well. There was one more person. I'll look up one more person. What was her name? Oh, you guys should know this. Rachel Pedersen. She's very, very, very well known, and I think she's local in Utah. Rachel Pedersen, she is like the queen at content creation, and she's got social media tips, an entire series on it. And so if you go to Rachel Pedersen, it's the Mrs. Peterson. That's her name. You can follow any one of her videos on tips on creating content and so forth. And she's got different styles, and she's got a ring light back there you see, and just a bunch of other things. So I'll leave it at that, but she's very, very impressive and one of the top in the industry that I highly recommend. So I hope that helps you guys. Let's gather a few more questions here and let's wrap up for tonight. Thank you for that question. Let's see here. We got boom, boom, boom. Vin Jiang is a great one for communication and confidence. Ooh, I love that. Okay, thanks for sharing that one. I'm going to save that one with some fire. All right. Are lives better than TikToks for short videos? Ooh, great question, Leanna. And Leanna, you should talk to Lauren about this, but we've actually learned recently that before you go live, post a video and let the video generate some likes, or just let it go out into the algorithmic sphere of all world social media. I made all that up. And let it sit there for a few minutes, like 15, 20 minutes. Go grab a snack or a sandwich and come back, and then go live. I looks to see, I see Lauren's comments to it. So that's perfect. Thanks for commenting on that, Lauren. But yeah, it's very important to know just how platforms work. So if you're going to go live on Facebook, okay, know that you're competing with so many other accounts. So if you're going to go live on Facebook, post something and then go live. Same with Instagram. If you're going to go live, post something and then go live. I'm testing it with TikTok, and things are seeming to do the same as well. But just going live out of the blue doesn't always help, because the algorithm wants to know that you're on the platform and to send people your way so that you'll stay on the platform. That's what the platforms want to do. They want to keep you on there. So that's super helpful. Thanks for helping with that. Thank you for your comments. All right. Any last questions or any thoughts before we jump off? Now, I do want to encourage you. Here's your homework. You guys have homework. And for those of you who've joined us for the first time, please go to our social media channel, and please go to our Facebook group, where our community is connecting all the time. In fact, if you go to our Facebook group or page, you'll be able to see all of our content there. And essentially, I want you to post a video. I want you to post a video today. Okay, right after this meeting, I'm going to post the 2 videos that I did. I want to see your videos. And you don't have to be on camera. Again, if you're not comfortable, I understand, but work towards getting comfortable. I want you to either point the camera at the wall, or your puppy, or your baby, or something. Maybe it's a doll, maybe it's something, maybe it's your hand, okay? Maybe you have finger puppets, whatever it is. Point your camera at something that will give you a little confidence. And I want you to just do this, and I just want you to introduce yourself. Say, hey, my name is John, or hi, my name is Lauren, or hey, my name is Willie, hey, my name is Leanna, hey, my name is Rachel, and I'm working on improving my social media content by getting more confident on camera. And we can all go in and support one another. If you're willing to do that, I know that each of us will be able to support one another and help each other grow. And if you're open to that feedback, I encourage you and challenge you to post that today. Okay, so just went live on Facebook with all of us. Oh, cool. That's awesome, Lauren. Thanks for doing that. So again, let's challenge you to go live. No, just to post a video to our Facebook group. And in there, just say something really fun. Tell us a story, or what you're doing, or just that you'd like to work on content creation and being on camera more. Okay. And if you do so, we all promise to share love with you and to give you what you need to feel supported and to grow that confidence. A list of all these things will be available to you in an email soon, and therefore I will follow up with that. But I just wanted to invite you and encourage you that your content creation is solely up to you. Now, there are people out there who could use your uplifting word, who could use your product, who could use your service, who could use a pick-me-up, who could use something somewhere that you are providing. And I don't want to make you feel bad, but I want you to understand that you have a power within you that is so great, and it's greater than beyond measure. And because of that power, people need you. People need you in this world. And the more that we keep ourselves out of sight and in the depths and the darks and in the shadows, the more that nobody gets to grow and enhance their lives because of knowing us, and because of our businesses, and because of our services. So I don't want you to feel bad, but I do want you to feel positive that you have influence and impact, and truly you are significant. And because of that, why not share it? And why not do so in the confidence of this community, where we will support one another and work outward from there. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on tonight's workshop. Now, I will encourage you, please, if you have not already, go and sign up for our Become a Champion event. It is happening on June 2nd. Friday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's only going to be 1 hour long. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to want to be at that event. And now, if you are seeing this replay and this is way past that event, we have other events too coming up. Please go to mychampionscircle.com, where you'll learn everything you need to learn more about our upcoming events, how to get involved in Champion Circle, and what to do in order to become a champion yourself. With that, guys, I'm John Kovacs Jr. Thanks for joining me tonight. And I want to cue up some awesome music before we leave. But if I can't get to it in time, we're just going to say good night. But I've got it queued up. So let's party all night long. Here we go, and have a great night. We'll see you guys next time. And join us by coming to one of our next Champion Circle events. See you guys later. Don't overcome.